The 40% rule, what it means and how to use it. Popularized by Navy SEAL David Goggins, this principle states that when your mind tells you you're done, you've actually only used about 40% of your true potential. The other 60% is untapped power, waiting for you to push through fear, fatigue, and doubt. In this video, we'll break the 40% rule into 10 practical parts so you can apply it in everyday life and achieve more than you ever imagined. Here's the rewritten Part 1, understanding the 40% rule in around 700 words, keeping it cinematic, motivational, and perfect for a YouTube delivery. Part 1, understanding the 40% rule. You've been there before. Your muscles ache. Your lungs burn. Your mind whispers, then shouts, stop. You can't do this anymore. You slow down, convinced you've reached the end of what you can handle. But what if I told you, you're only at 40%? That's the essence of the 40% rule, a mental toughness principle popularized by Navy SEAL and ultra-endurance athlete David Goggins. The idea is simple but powerful. When you think you're completely done, you've only tapped into about 40% of your true potential. The remaining 60%. It's locked away behind mental barriers your brain has built over a lifetime. Where the rule comes from. David Goggins didn't invent the concept, but he lived it in some of the harshest environments on Earth. From Navy SEAL, Hell Week, to ultramarathons, Goggins discovered that the human mind quits long before the body does. One freezing night during SEAL training, he was ordered into the icy Pacific Ocean with his team. The cold was unbearable. His muscles cramped, his body shook violently, and every fiber of his being screamed to quit. Yet he stayed. And in that moment, he realized something life-changing. Discomfort doesn't mean you're finished, it means you're growing. Why the brain quits early? Your brain's main job is survival, not achievement. When it senses discomfort, whether it's physical strain, mental fatigue, or emotional stress, it sends out an early stop signal. This isn't your true limit. It's your brain acting like a cautious parent, pulling you back before you're anywhere near real danger. Think of it like a car's low fuel light coming on while you still have 50 miles in the tank. It's a warning, not a reality. The 40% rule is about learning to recognize that warning and push through it safely. What 40% looks like in everyday life. You don't need to be a Navy SEAL to see this rule in action. Running, you feel drained after 10 minutes, but keep going for just 2 more, and your body adapts into a steady rhythm. Studying, you're mentally exhausted after an hour, but push through another 30 minutes and suddenly find focus again. Work projects, you've faced 5 rejections and want to give up, but that 6th attempt could be your breakthrough. The 40% moment is the mental wall where most people stop. The magic happens when you climb over it. The science behind it. Sports scientists have tested this concept. In one experiment, cyclists rode to exhaustion. Then, without their knowledge, researchers gave them small performance boosts, extra time, slightly reduced resistance. Almost all of them rode far longer than before. This revealed the truth. They weren't physically empty during their first attempt, they were mentally finished. Neuroscientists call this the central governor theory, the brain acting like a limiter, holding you back to avoid perceived danger. Why 40% is symbolic. The exact number isn't the point. Whether it's 40%, 50%, or 30%, the message is the same: you have far more to give than you believe in the moment. When you hit empty, it's usually your mind's comfort zone, not your body's limit. Mindset shift. The key to using the 40% rule is reframing that quitting signal. Instead of hearing, "You're done," translate it to, "You've just reached the halfway point." Next time you hit that mental wall, pause, take a breath, and remember it's just your brain protecting you. Remind yourself that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Push just a little further, safely, but deliberately. Not reckless pushing. This isn't about ignoring injury or health risks. The 40% rule is about pushing through mental resistance, not damaging your body. There's a difference between the burn of effort and the pain of harm. Learn to tell them apart. Why it matters. Modern life has made comfort our default setting. We rarely need to push ourselves beyond convenience. That means our quit threshold is lower than it should be. The 40% rule resets that threshold, building resilience and revealing hidden reserves of strength. It's not just for athletes. It's for anyone who wants to break out of mediocrity, whether you're training for a race, building a business, or chasing a dream. In the next part, we'll explore the psychology of limits, how your brain tricks you into quitting too soon and how to rewire it so you can keep going when every part of you says to stop. Part 2, the psychology of limits. The 40% rule begins with a single realization: your limits aren't where you think they are. But to push past them, you need to understand why your mind sets those limits in the first place. Your brain's safety system. From the moment you're born, your brain's number one job is to keep you alive. It's the command center, scanning for threats, predicting danger, and acting conservatively whenever something feels uncomfortable. This system is powered by the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing fear and stress. When you feel pain, exhaustion, or anxiety, the amygdala lights up like a warning siren. It tells your body, stop before something bad happens. The thing is, this alarm often sounds long before you're anywhere near actual danger. This is a survival mechanism inherited from our ancestors. Thousands of years ago, stopping early could save your life. But in the modern world, most challenges, running an extra mile, pushing through a tough meeting, studying another hour, aren't life-threatening. Your brain just treats them as if they are. Comfort conditioning. We live in an age of comfort. Temperature control, fast food, streaming entertainment, everything is designed to minimize effort and maximize ease. While convenient, this has a hidden cost: our quit threshold becomes weaker. Because discomfort is rare, the moment we feel it, we label it as too much. Our brain thinks something's wrong when in reality, it's just untrained for adversity. The false wall. Think of your limits like a wall in your mind. When you approach it, your brain convinces you it's solid brick, you can't go further. But the truth? That wall is often made of paper. Push through, and you realize there's more space on the other side. This is why elite performers, athletes, soldiers, entrepreneurs, train themselves to recognize the false wall. They've conditioned their minds to expect it, challenge it, and go beyond it. The role of self-talk. Your inner voice is a powerful factor in whether you stop or keep going. If your self-talk is negative, "I can't do this, I'm too tired," your brain believes it and shuts down faster. But if you reframe the conversation, "This is just the wall, I've been here before, I can push past it," your brain recalibrates and allows you to dig deeper. Why this matters for the 40% rule. Understanding the psychology of limits helps you use the 40% rule effectively. It's not about mindlessly pushing through pain, it's about recognizing the moment your brain tries to protect you unnecessarily, and making a conscious decision to go a little further. Now that we've uncovered why your brain sets false limits, in part 3 we'll break down practical methods you can use to train your mind and body to push past that 40% mark safely and consistently. Part 3, training your mind to break the 40% barrier. Knowing about the 40% rule is one thing. Living it, pushing past that false limit, requires deliberate training. The good news? You can condition your mind the same way you condition your muscles. 1. Embrace micro-challenges. You don't have to start with extreme feats like running ultramarathons or doing Navy SEAL training. Begin with small, intentional discomforts. If you normally run 2 miles, add half a mile. If you do 20 push-ups, aim for 25. If you work for 50 minutes, push to 55 before taking a break. These micro-challenges teach your brain that discomfort isn't danger, it's growth. Over time, your tolerance expands. 2. The one more rule. When you feel like stopping, commit to one more set, one more page, one more email, one more phone call. This habit rewires your brain to associate the quitting signal with opportunity instead of escape. David Goggins often says, when you want to quit, that's when the work starts. By adding one more, you train yourself to find that second wind. 3. Controlled exposure to discomfort. Deliberately step into situations that challenge you. This could mean taking cold showers, waking up earlier than usual, or tackling a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. The goal isn't to suffer, it's to practice staying calm and focused when your brain says, "Nope, I don't like this." 4. Visualize the wall. Mental imagery is powerful. Picture that 40% barrier as a wall in your mind. See yourself walking right up to it, then stepping through it. This mental rehearsal prepares your brain for the real moment of resistance, making it easier to break through when it happens. 5. Track your progress. Keep a journal of your push-past moments. Record when you hit the wall, what you told yourself, and how much further you went. Over weeks and months, you'll see patterns, proof that your limits are shifting. 6. The 5-second decision. When the urge to quit hits, give yourself 5 seconds to decide differently. Count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action before your brain can talk you out of it. This simple trick interrupts the quit pattern and builds mental momentum. Why training works. Every time you push past that point where your brain says, "Stop," you're sending a new message to your nervous system: we can handle more than we thought. Over time, this resets your baseline for effort, meaning that what once felt impossible becomes normal. In Part 4, we'll talk about real-world examples of the 40% rule, stories of people who went far beyond what they thought was possible, and the lessons we can steal from them. Part 4, Real-world examples of the 40% rule. The 40% rule isn't just theory, it's been proven in real lives and extraordinary achievements. David Goggins himself is the ultimate example. At one point, he ran 100 miles in under 19 hours without any serious training, just to prove to himself that his limits were an illusion. His body was wrecked, blisters, stress fractures, even kidney issues, but his mind pushed him far beyond where most people would have stopped. Another example comes from Eliud Kipchoge, the marathon legend who became the first human to run 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. While his physical preparation was elite, Kipchoge has said that the marathon is 90% mental. The real battle is convincing your mind to keep going when the pain sets in. Even in everyday life, the 40% rule applies. Take college students pulling through final exams. Many think they're out of energy halfway through the week, yet still manage all-nighters, projects, and presentations, because the deadline forces them past their perceived limits. And in the military, U.S. Marine recruits in boot camp often surprise themselves. Drills and obstacle courses are designed to push them to that breaking point, only for them to realize they're capable of far more than they thought on day one. These stories prove the same truth: the body is rarely the limiting factor, it's the mind. When you understand that, the 40% rule stops being a slogan and becomes a tool you can use in any challenge. In Part 5, we'll break down how to apply the 40% rule in everyday life, so it's not just motivation, but a daily habit you live by. Part 5, Applying the 40% rule in everyday life. The 40% rule isn't just for athletes or soldiers, it's a mindset anyone can use to unlock more potential every day. Start by identifying moments when you feel like quitting. It might be waking up early, pushing through a tough workday, or staying focused on a long task. When that moment hits, remind yourself, I'm only at 40%. You have plenty left to give. Next, create small, push-past goals. If you normally stop working after an hour, commit to 10 more minutes. If you feel too tired to exercise, try just 5 more reps or a few more steps. These small wins build your mental endurance and reshape your limits. Use the one more rule. Always aim for one more effort than you think you can handle. It rewires your brain to see quitting as the exception, not the rule. Another powerful tool is mindful breathing. When stress or fatigue threatens to shut you down, slow, deep breaths calm your nervous system and help you reconnect with your strength. Also, track your progress. Celebrate when you break through that mental wall. Writing down these moments reinforces your new limits and keeps you motivated. Finally, surround yourself with reminders, quotes, videos, or people who embody pushing past limits. Inspiration fuels the fire when your own willpower dips. By making these practices daily habits, the 40% rule becomes more than just a concept. It becomes your new normal, a way of life where you consistently access hidden reserves and redefine what's possible. Up next, we'll dive into common obstacles people face when trying to push past limits, and how to overcome them to stay on track. Part 6: Overcoming Obstacles When Pushing Past Limits. Applying the 40% rule isn't always easy. As you push past your mental limits, obstacles will appear. The key is knowing how to face them head-on and keep moving forward. 1. Fear of failure. Many quit because they fear failing or looking weak. But failure isn't the enemy, it's a stepping stone to growth. Embrace mistakes as lessons that bring you closer to your goals. Remember, pushing past 40% means being comfortable with discomfort, including failure. 2. Negative self-talk. Your inner critic can be your biggest hurdle. When your mind says, "I can't," challenge it with evidence of past victories and the truth that limits are mostly mental. Replace negativity with affirmations like, "I am stronger than I think," or "This discomfort is temporary." 3. Physical and mental fatigue. Fatigue is real and sometimes unavoidable. Listen to your body. There's a difference between pushing through and risking injury or burnout. Balance hard work with proper rest, nutrition, and recovery. The 40% rule is about smart pushing, not reckless ignoring of signals. 4. Lack of motivation. Motivation fluctuates. On tough days, remind yourself why you started. Visualize the payoff on the other side of the struggle. Break big goals into smaller steps to keep momentum alive. 5. External distractions. Phones, social media, noise, they all drain focus and energy. Create environments that minimize distractions so you can give your full effort when it counts. Every obstacle you overcome strengthens your mental toughness. By facing these challenges with awareness and strategy, you make the 40% rule a powerful, sustainable part of your life. Next, we'll explore how to use visualization and mental rehearsal to prepare your mind for pushing beyond limits every single time. Part 7: Visualization and mental rehearsal to push past limits. One of the most powerful tools to break through the 40% barrier is visualization, the process of mentally rehearsing success before you face the challenge. How visualization works. When you imagine yourself pushing past your limits, your brain activates many of the same neural pathways as if you were actually doing it. This mental practice strengthens your confidence and prepares you emotionally for the discomfort ahead. Elite athletes, military personnel, and performers use visualization daily to build mental toughness and improve performance. Simple visualization technique. 1. Find a quiet place and close your eyes. 2. Picture yourself facing the moment you want to overcome, the final reps in a workout, the last stretch of a project, or a tough conversation. 3. Imagine the discomfort rising, the fatigue, the doubt, but see yourself pushing through it with calm and determination. 4. Visualize the breakthrough moment when you realize you have more left to give and keep going stronger than before. 5. Feel the pride and satisfaction of conquering that challenge. Why it helps. Visualization programs your mind to expect difficulty and prepares you to respond positively. It rewires your brain's comfort zone, making it easier to stay focused when the real moment comes. Make it a habit. Spend just 5 minutes a day practicing this mental rehearsal. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Moments that used to stop you in your tracks become stepping stones to greater strength. In Part 8, we'll dive into how building daily routines around the 40% rule can permanently raise your limits and boost your resilience. Part 8, Building daily routines to raise your limits. The 40% rule becomes truly powerful when you embed it into your daily life through consistent routines. Small, intentional habits build mental toughness over time and raise your baseline of effort. Start your day with purpose. Begin each morning with a challenge. Wake up 30 minutes earlier, do a short workout, or set a focused goal. This early win sets the tone for pushing past discomfort throughout the day. Schedule push past moments. Identify daily tasks where you can practice going beyond your comfort zone. It could be working an extra 10 minutes, tackling a difficult conversation, or adding more reps to your workout. Make it non-negotiable. Practice mindful reflection. At day's end, spend a few minutes reflecting on when you hit a mental wall and how you responded. Celebrate victories, no matter how small. This reflection reinforces growth and keeps you motivated. Use triggers and reminders. Place notes, alarms, or motivational quotes where you'll see them during the day. These cues remind you to push through the 40% moments instead of giving in to the easy quit. Balance effort with recovery. Building limits isn't about burning out. Incorporate rest, healthy nutrition, and stress management. Recovery is what allows you to come back stronger and push further next time. Track your progress. Use a journal or app to log when you pushed past your limits. Seeing progress builds momentum and makes the 40% rule a natural part of your lifestyle. By building routines around this rule, you turn mental toughness from a rare event into a daily habit, and unlock a new level of performance and resilience. Next, we'll discuss how to stay motivated long-term and avoid common pitfalls that can derail your progress. Part 9. Staying motivated long-term and avoiding pitfalls. Pushing past your limits consistently isn't easy, motivation can wane, and obstacles will arise. Staying committed to the 40% rule over the long haul takes strategy and self-awareness. Find your why. Motivation lasts when it's tied to a deeper purpose. Identify why you want to push past limits. Is it to build confidence, improve health, or achieve a dream? Keep that reason front and center, especially when things get tough. Set realistic goals. Big goals can be overwhelming. Break them into smaller milestones that feel achievable. Celebrate each win to keep momentum alive and maintain a sense of progress. Expect setbacks. Everyone hits rough patches. When you stumble or feel like quitting, remind yourself setbacks are part of growth, not failure. Use them as lessons to adjust your approach and come back stronger. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who encourage your journey. Accountability partners, mentors, or communities focused on growth help keep you motivated and provide valuable perspective. Avoid burnout. Pushing too hard without recovery leads to exhaustion and injury. Listen to your body and mind, and allow rest days or mental breaks. The 40% rule is about sustainable growth, not reckless overexertion. Keep learning and adjusting. As you grow, your limits will shift. Stay curious about what works best for you. Experiment with new challenges, routines, and mindset tools to keep your progress dynamic. Staying motivated long-term turns the 40% rule from a burst of effort into a lifelong lifestyle, unlocking your full potential day after day. In the final part, we'll summarize the key takeaways and give you a powerful call to action to start living the 40% rule right now. Part 10, Summary and Powerful Call to Action. You've learned that the 40% rule is more than just a phrase, it's a mindset shift that unlocks hidden reserves of strength within you. When your mind tells you to quit, remember, you've only just begun tapping into your true potential. We explored how your brain sets early limits to protect you, but those limits aren't the full story. You can train your mind and body to push past discomfort safely and effectively. Through small daily challenges, mental rehearsal, and consistent habits, you raise your baseline and redefine what you're capable of. Real-world stories from Navy SEALs to marathon runners prove this isn't theory, it's a way to achieve more than you ever thought possible. But it's not about reckless pushing, it's about smart, sustainable growth balanced with rest and self-awareness. Now it's your turn. Start today by embracing that one more mindset, one more step, one more rep, one more minute when your brain says stop. Set small goals that push your limits and celebrate every breakthrough. Remember, growth happens on the other side of discomfort. The 40% rule invites you to live with courage, resilience, and relentless determination. So ask yourself, what will you do when your mind says you're done? Will you stop, or will you push through and discover what's possible? Your journey beyond 40% starts now. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to unlock more powerful content that pushes you beyond limits every day.